Okay, so we're back into Sharei Orah. I can't say that I can't express my happiness that Sharei Orah is maybe my favorite class that I give. Besides the fact that he's the student of the Rabbi Avraham Abulafia, that he's from the time of the Ramban, that he's one of the Rishonim, that not that many people study his work, and gives us the opportunity to delve. When we speak about the 10 Sefirot, how he speaks about it, that's the real point. That's the real point of all this limud. To actualize. That was the whole point of the Ari's limud. To actualize the limud, and it shouldn't be something. It shouldn't be just another knowledge that I learned. Okay, I learned something called this, so I have to use it somehow. You know, the Magid Memezrich of Dov Ber Memezrich. I had a zechut to pray by his kever. And also the Imre Bina of Dov Ber Milubavitch, the second Rebbe of Lubavitch. When they used to see things, they wouldn't see actual things. They trained their mind to see the spirituality and everything. That they would say that we see Havayot everywhere. I see different names of God in the different configurations. Like they would see, there's an atom, everything is made out of atoms. You have atoms, you have molecules, compounds, right? So what makes the atom move? The ruchaniyut inside that, because what's an atom? It's basically chesed, gevurah, tiferet.
Positive, negative charge, and neutral.
That's all it is, chesed, gevurah, tiferet. That's what an atom is. It's a small world. You have the tzimtzum, and then you have the igulim and the yosher. You have the protons in the middle, and the igulim surrounding. That's all it is. The Ari never saw atoms, but he knew what atoms were. And what makes those things work? It's the Havayot and Ekiyas inside of them that are working. What makes something more ionic, something less hydronium, hydroxide, plus, minus, pH, whatever. All these things, it's all Havayot and Ekiyas. So, for example, when a person's walking outside, and it takes a lot, by the way, all these things take a lot of training, a lot. It's nothing less than lahavdil, going to a gym and working out. If a guy's all of his life gonna go and pick up 5-pound weights, is he ever gonna be something? Yeah, he might train himself to go to the gym. He'll have a regimen, but he won't never get a physique. He has to go from 5 to 10 to 20 to 50. So too in Torah. If you're always gonna stay in the level of Mishnayot and Halachot, Halavai. But I'm talking to us. If you're always going to stay in Mishnayot and Halachot and Gemarot, then you're always going to stay in, Lahavdil, 20 pounds weights. If you want to get to 50 and build your physique, you have to always strive to higher. What's interesting, in Torah, there's always something higher. For example, I learn Gemara. I finish a Masechet. I strive for the next Masechet, to the next Masechet, to the next. You're not Rav Chaim Kanievsky. You're not going to finish the Torah all in the same year. Right? You finish the Torah all in 1 year. You always, he would do that, right? He would strive to different heights, right? To the point where he asked Hashem, could you please show me what a kosher locust looks like? He gets up from the Gemara and boom, right in front of his face. What does he see? A kosher locust. In front of his face. Chaim Kanievsky. The story is so famous that they even repeated it. Did you guys watch his Levaya? I saw his Levaya live. They repeated the story live in his Levaya. I thought it was kind of a famous story it was. One time, the story of Chaim Kanievsky, if you don't mind I say a story that touches my heart because unfortunately I'm in a court case. One time a guy, he was keeping Shemitah. I don't know if it was etrogs or not, whatever. He had a field in Israel. He was a religious Jew. And he kept Shemitah. I don't know, we don't know what it means to be a farmer, but it's tough work. Even with all the tractors, schmactors, it's a tough work. So he hired some illegal immigrants. One of the immigrants, I don't know, he was going on top of Philippine, he was going on top of a thing, he fell, made himself paralyzed, took him to court. Basically, he was going to sue him for and he's an illegal immigrant. The court doesn't care, listen, human rights. He's illegal. Doesn't care. So he goes to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. This is when he was younger and he was not so much known. Because before Chaim Kanievsky, who was the Gadol Ador? Rabbi Yosef, his father. So he goes to Chaim Kanievsky and tells him, listen, I keep Shemitah. And in the year that I kept Shemitah, this Filipino decides to fall and sue me for everything. So Chaim Kanievsky says, listen, I'm gonna help pay for your expenses, for your lawyer expenses. So how much you gonna pay? I don't remember exactly. I think he took out from his thing a 1 shekel coin. Because this is for your expenses. It's on camera, by the way. The story's it's on camera. I saw it on camera, by the way. I saw it happen. It's not live, but on camera. He takes the coin and he's like, thank you, Rav, with Emuna. Thank you, Rav. I don't know how long it was after, but he comes back to him. He comes to Chaim and he says to him, I'm here to give you back your coin. The case was dismissed against me. Here's your coin back. Chaim starts to laugh, he takes the coin, and then he says to him, can I please keep the coin as a memento for the miracle that happened to me? And Chaim starts to laugh and he gives him back the coin. Who knows what was going on over there, what kind of brachot, or good kavanot. Doesn't necessarily have to be Shemot HaKodesh. It's the neshama that you give to the scenario. So when we study Torah, how did Rav Chaim get to that level? He got to a level where everything he saw was Hashem. That's all really it is. When the Baal Shem Tov, what was the Baal Shem Tov's chidush? What was his chidush, Baal Shem Tov? What was his chidush? I'll tell you. The Jewish people were always in that hierarchy of Yisachar and Zvulun, which is what? Yisachar needs Zvulun, but at the same time, listen, Yisachar is Yisachar. People who learn Torah are just royalty, and people who don't are... they don't. So the Jewish people, for a very long time, they looked down on the blue-collar worker as if he was nothing, and even more so if he was an Am Haaretz. Baal Shem Tov came down to the people and he said, no, also you mean something. Also you have godliness. He went down to the people just like the Moshe Rabbeinu went down to the people. That was the chiddush of the Baal Shem Tov. It was a chiddush. Today you don't see it as a chiddush because every other lecturer speaks about it. You mean something too. It didn't start off like that. It's a chiddush. What do you mean? You mean something. You do something, you mean something. You don't, you don't. The Baal Shem Tov said, no. Even if you don't do something, you mean something. The fact that you are who you are and you have a neshama kedosha, you mean something. The fact that you have a chesed, givurah, tiferet, netzach, hod, yesod, malchut, you mean something. And you could find the godliness even in your job. I'll give you an example. Who was the first guy who got up to heaven alive? No? Nah, before him. Before Noah.
Enoch.
What?
Enoch.
That's how the Goyim call him. What's his Hebrew name? Chanoch. Chanoch. But you were close enough. I'll give it to you. They say Enoch. Enoch, they say. Enoch. Chanoch. What was Chanoch's job? How did he get that? For 365 years, what was he doing? Did he have Torah, Chanoch? He had a Masoret from Adam HaRishon, yes, for sure. For sure he had a Masoret. But what was his job? He was a shoemaker. Yeah?
Not sure.
I don't know that.
And they say when he used to make the shoes, he used to say, L'Shem Yichud Kuchav Rehu Shchinte. L'Shem, imagine 365 years, L'Shem Yichud Kuchav Rehu Shchinte. Until L'Shem Yichud Kuchav Rehu Shchinte, alach. If you believe in something, but you have to train yourself. You gotta train it. You say, of course you train yourself. You come to the shiur once a week, or sometimes we have but it's not enough. You gotta take the shiur with you. That's why I spend so much time on my Hagdamot. Limud is important. If I have a book, what book do I have? A book. It's called Beyam Derachecha. It's a book. Anonymously written by students of Rav Morgan. You guys don't know, Rav Morgenstern is a big Mikubal Tzaddik in Yerushalayim. He has a yeshiva called Torah Chacham. So his students took his words on Avodat Hashem, put it in a small book called Beyam Derachecha. I like this book. I like it. He says over there, when you learn this book, it's an interesting book. Don't learn it all in one day. Learn every day 5 pages. Why? If you learn everything in one day, yeah, you're going to enjoy yourself very much, very quickly, but it's going to all dissipate really quickly. But if you learn 5 pages a day, then it becomes what? Hard. For example, can I share with you something I learned today? He asked a question, Rahim, listen to the question. You're going to like it. He says like this, how come food is such a materialistic endeavor, but yet we're obligated to do it in all special occasions in Judaism? Korban, you bring, you eat it. If not you, then the Kohen. Pesach, you have to eat food? Yes. Sukkot? Yes. Sudat mitzvah? Yes. But every time you eat food, could you serve Hashem afterwards? Most times not. You feel heavy. Yeah, you want to relax, you want to sleep, you overate. When you go to sleep, you're thinking of usually over there. You're not thinking of Ishtabach Shemo Shel Borei Olam. If food is such a low endeavor, it's such a not... How come we're obligated to do it on every special occasion? Should be just the opposite. Every time we have a special occasion, it should be a fast. You know what he writes? We're not using food in the proper way. Food is the highest avodah of Hashem. That's why the Chachamim call it a milchama.
War.
It's a war. When you eat, it's a war. It depends how you tackle the war. When you eat food, kosher food, what makes you taste this? I'm drinking ginger ale right now, yeah? It's sweet. What's sweet inside of there? What makes it sweet? That sweetness in the ginger ale, he says, it's the life of the ginger ale. It's the nitzot de kedusha. That's what makes me enjoy it. Hashem put nitzotzot kedusha in everything in this world, so we should enjoy it. The more we enjoy it, the more we want to do it. So he put all the nitzotzot kedusha in the holy things. So how come I enjoy the nitzotzot in the non-holy things? I'm not enjoying the nitzotzot. I'm enjoying the klipot surrounding the nitzotzot.
So you have to try everything then.
That's what people do. Then they go back to the real stuff. Why? You're like your parent tells you, don't do it. I did it. Don't do it. I want to do it too. And then he regrets it. Then he comes back. He's 80 years old. My Papa Bill Pra, my dad, you know how it is. He was, why go through all that? He's right. Correct or incorrect? Now some people are born with a certain choice. He doesn't want those nitzotzot klipa. He doesn't want those. The truth is, even in the klipa, there is nitzotzot kedusha. Yes. The problem is, in those klipot, like in PIG, you're not allowed to reveal the kedusha inside of it. Because if you do, you're only going to taste the tum'ah, not the kedusha. Understand what I'm saying right now? I'll give you an example. I was thinking about it deeply today. Why do people love, what's the biggest thing men want? You guys know what it is. I don't have to
Brisket.
Yeah.
Smoked brisket.
You can call it whatever you want. Zebras, briskets, call it whatever you want.
Should I come
Right?
with your phone number too?
Why do they want it so much? Women don't want it as much as men, for example. They don't have such a big... Their ta'ava is more mammon.
Shopping.
Not just shopping, materialistic endeavors.
Yeah.
How come? If it's so natural for us, why isn't it natural for them? I'm talking about Jewish, for example. I'm talking about Jewish people. By Goyim, you don't see it. By Goyim, they're all the same thing. Znut, ayot, everything for them is the same. I'm talking about Jewish people right now. By Jewish women, you don't see that they have a ta'ava like Jewish men. Jewish men have a totally different ta'ava. Jewish women have a totally different ta'ava. Itmaha. Is it a klipa to have a ta'ava?
No.
No, it's not. It's kedusha. The ta'ava is there for a good reason. You know why Jewish men have a ta'ava for that thing? It's positive. It's not a negative thing. We're just not using it correctly. Because in the source, in Atzilut, what's the most important thing to the positive systems to connect? The male system always wants to connect.
To the female.
Of course, it's going to connect to the female, to the negative system. So because of that, since we want to be like our shoresh, what do we always want to do?
Appropriate.
We want to always have a zivug. Because what are we born for? What is our source in Shamayim? Zachar. What is Zachar? He's always mizaveg. He's always connecting. He's bonding all the time. You understand? So we have this drive. Female doesn't want to bond. Female wants to get. She's a receiver. The male is the bonder. Derech ish lalechet acharei zivug, not derech isha. Right? The way of the man to find a zivug, not the way of the woman. What does a woman look for in a zivug? In the dunya. So what are you bringing into the zivug? Who are you? How much money you make? What are you coming in with? Do you have any property? Well, I don't know. Whatever, but you
Guaranteed. Before you die.
whatever. They also like lies too, by the way.
Yeah.
Because they like imaginations too. Because the nukva is aspaklaria de la nahara. So they like to buy fantasies. That's why who believes in all these conspiracy theories and all this stuff, all this babot and everything? Mostly it's women. Yeah, Rambam calls it nashim, divrei nashim. Nashim, yeah, it's all men have intellect.
Yeah.
Prove it to me. You know? Conspiracy. Prove it. Where is it? Where? Show me. Show it to me. Because they have intellect. They have dot. Right? Yeah, but some men don't have dot. What are you gonna do? They're nashim too. Most men have dot. I'm talking about Jewish people right now. I'm not talking about Gentiles. Because Gentiles, they haven't gotten the Torah yet. Listen, they're welcome to join. But they have to go through the process. Now, do I suggest it to them? No. I have this guy, he texted me he emailed me from South America, Colombia. I have a crazy story to tell you guys, but whatever, some other time. Anyways, look, why does a guy want zivug all the time? Because his shorish is what? He's a yesod. He wants to use his yesod to give. The problem is, we don't understand, to give doesn't necessarily mean in that physical way. You could use your yesod in many different ways. Chesed, tzedakah. Do you know that sometimes giving charity could be as enjoyable as the zivug? Yeah, you're not going to have that rush, but you'll have a sense of satisfaction. I'll give you an example. A lot of people who have addictions. So the person who's helping him fight his addiction will say, change your addiction for something else. And many times it's food. He'll say, as a person has an addiction to smoking, he'll say, instead of when you want to smoke, eat. And that person will suddenly get into a psyche that food is as enjoyable as smoking.
Brisket.
The one and only.
But the point is, it's in the head. What are we all looking for? Satisfaction. It doesn't necessarily have to come from the yesod. Our being is the yesod. We are a walking yesod. When you give, let's say I gave $5,000 to charity. At that moment, you did a huge, you did a big. After that, you don't have any tava for anything, because you just expended so much energy. You're like, wow, I did it. You were a yesod at that moment, right? That's why does the Chachamim say, if you have nothing better to do, work? The Goyim took it from us. The act of working is giving. Men need to work. They need to be amel. So Parashat Bechukotah says, Tiyu amelim b'Torah. Expend that energy in the Torah. You're gonna find you don't need anything. Most people can't do that. Not because they can't, because they didn't try. You understand? Because in their mind, if you don't finish Shas, I didn't learn Torah. It's not true. In your level, maybe for you, it's a couple of Masechtot and Mishnayot and a Tanakh. Who knows what's your level? Who's to tell you that the level that everybody has to be is Shas? Some person could do Shas, try it, but who said that's you? Women are different. Their shorish is the nukva, is the fifth system. The fifth system is the electron. What is the electron? The electron is the receiver. When atoms, when they want to connect, what do they share between one another?
Proton.
No. Electrons they share. Covalent bonds. They throw electrons between each other. You understand? Why? Whichever one has the more bigger
Gravitational
bigger pull, that's where the electron goes. You understand? So women, what does the Gemara say? Nashim da'atan kala. Their da'at is kal. One day they're here, one day they're there. Don't be afraid. They're all like that. That's their shorish. Could she use it for the good? Yes. How did she use it for the good? A woman is able to take away her stress very easily. Just change the subject. A guy cannot do that. In his head, when he has a stress in his head, it'll eat him for a very long time. He cannot. He can't help himself. Our shorish is like that. That's our shorish. We need to overthink it, try to figure it out. We won't rest. It's still there. We'll pray for it 24/7. Women are not like that. The next day, that's it. They forget about it. It's just the shorish is like that. Nashim da'atan kala. It's kal. It changes all the time. There is a change, a constant change. And it's just like electrons always change from atom to atom to atom. So today, the gvura, and what's gvura? Their shorish is gvura. Gvura always wants beauty. I want to look good. I want to see good. I want a nice house. I want a nice this. That's the shorish. Men are not like that. Men are from Chokhmah. They're from the Darom, from the south. The menorah. Women are from the Mizbeach. What was in the Mizbeach? All the korbanot. Give me more korbanot. I'll eat everything. And put all the korbanot inside. Just burn everything. What was the most important avodah in the Beit HaMikdash? The Mizbeach. It's the most important korban. But it's not our job. Our job is the menorah. What do we put in every single shul?
Menorah.
The menorah. It's also a sigula against dever, against pachad, against bad stuff. The menorah is it's the or, it's the light. Kiner mitzvah, the Torah, or. Torah is the light. Our job is to learn Torah. Who's better at tefillah, men or women? Women are better at tefillah. Why? They pray from the kishka. They pray from the kishka. Every time they pray, their head is inside the siddur. What are they doing over there? They want to go inside the siddur. You know, they want to feel the siddur. The men are not like that. Hashem said, "Tiftach oseh shalom b'mroma." I fulfilled my quota for the day. You understand? But when he learns Torah, he wants to learn Torah. You're never going to find a woman in a Sharei Orah shiur. It's rare. There might be one or two. Who knows? Right? There's always yotzei min haklal. But mostly, it's a guy. He wants to learn. What is it? What's a tzaddik? What's going on over here? Men want to know because that's our shorish. The only question is, how do I use my shorish? How do I use my shorish? Okay, I know we didn't get to speak about Sharei Torah, but I think this since I came back from Eretz Yisrael, this Hagdama was important. So may Hashem bless everybody over here. Bracha, Matzlacha, Yeshua. We're gonna have to change the. Yeah, we'll call it Sharei Orah anyways. Hashem shall bless us with all Yeshua, all that stuff. Amen. Amen.